should not be afraid to do this PEP examination. It's an examination to ensure that really you are fit and proper to face the world. We all know in the manufacturing industry, even after the products have been manufactured, they still go through the quality assurance department, and where they take samples to analyze and be sure that these products are fit and proper to be passed on to the community. So we are not saying the lecturers have not done their best. What we are saying is that after you've acquired the academic qualification, now you are coming into the professional world and you have done your internship. Are you now fit and proper to face the world professionally? We are not going to start asking you about trichomes. Neither are we going to start bothering you with chemical equations. It's the professionalism and the practice of pharmacy that we're going to ask you about. So that when you now have a face-to-face encounter with the public, you should be confident enough to say you are a pharmacist. So be rest assured that you are not going to fail. Am I communicating? Okay. You need to wait. The founding program, as approved by the National University Commission, is receiving support from the University Senate of all approved faculties of pharmacy and pharmaceutical sciences in Nigeria. The PCN, in collaboration with the University of Benin and the National Association of Pharmacists and Pharmaceutical Sciences in the America, NAPSA, are currently running a special funding program for pharmacists in academics and preceptors. This is to build the critical manpower needed for the funding program. We shall continue to appeal to the Vice Chancellors to support early commencement of the program, as PCN is aiming at having Farm D as the minimum registrable requirement for pharmacists in Nigeria very soon. As pharmacists, you are expected to get yourselves acquitted with the Code of Professional Ethics, which prescribes your professional and moral responsibilities to patients, pharmacist colleagues, and other health professionals, your employers, and the general public, among others. Strict compliance to the Code of Ethics is indispensable for the practice of pharmacy profession. So you are coming into the profession. You are leaving the school environment. And pharmacy profession is quite distinct, very, very distinct. It is a profession that has two components. You have what you call the product component and the practice component, which makes it different from any other profession in the country. The product component is the drugs, and the practice component is the professionalism that you need to put across to the Nigerian people. And that makes you different from those traders who have found themselves in the pharmaceutical landscape, whose main purpose of coming to the pharmaceutical landscape is to make money. You are not going there for the purpose of making money. You are going into the profession for the purpose of rendering services to Nigerians. And in the process of rendering services, you will be paid for it. And it is this distinction that forms the basis of fake drugs in this country, where people that are not professionals, who are not trained, find themselves through hook or whatever in the pharmaceutical landscape, and they are not concerned or bothered about the aftermath of whoever takes that drug. Their focus is money, money, money. And because they have not gone through training like you, they cannot appreciate what drug is. They cannot understand why they should not sell fake drug. Their preoccupation in the pharmaceutical landscape is money, money, money. So whatever they see, they want to sell. They can't even appreciate that a fake drug can kill. So it is your responsibility as professionals to go into the world to help to correct this wrong impression in the pharmaceutical landscape. Wrong impression in the sense that drugs are not just other commodities like dairy, bread, minerals, and others. No, drugs basically are poisons, and they go into the system to bring about physiological changes that will make the person come out from whatever health situation he finds him or herself. And we all know how drugs come about from research and development. When any chemical is identified to have some properties, it's subjected to some processes and to see how useful it will become. And we all know that these chemicals, first of all, we subject animals to go through the process. Rats, we first of all use rats to test how efficacious they are. And we know whether the rat die or not is not of concern. After that, we go through other processes. And then before you have human volunteers who will now come and volunteer to be used. Then before you now release this product, and we know in time past, it's prisoners that have been condemned to death that are used to show you that these drugs, in as much as they are good for us, they must be taken in a prescribed manner. As professionals, you should understand and pass it on. So when they say take this tablet 2-3 times a day for 5 days, it's for a purpose. Because at that level of taking it 2-3 times a day for 5 days, the patient, the harm to the body will not be so much to kill that person. Because we'll find out that after using these drugs for animals 2-3 times a day for a period of time, they have been able to identify the quantity that will kill those animals. As they scale it up, they find out the quantity that will kill human beings. So for every drug that goes in is a chemical, is a poison. Ideally, the body will reject it. But however, the product will still go on and do whatever it wants to do. So by the time you take it as prescribed, it will be safe for the patient and it will be safe for humanity. And then those that are already been identified to be of good quality, then when the fake one comes, you can imagine the damage that will be done. You see that the expected result is not achieved and the person gets worse in his health situation, or they take a product that will do more harm. So I'm talking not only to the professionals, to everybody in this hall, that drugs are not just commodities you take anyhow. They are dangerous to you. But however, because of the professionalism that those products have gone through, they are prescribed. You see that one a day, for 30 days, for 10 days, or 2 days, or 1 day, or 2-3 times a day, or twice, or one at night. Please, you must adhere to that. And because some of these drugs have found their way to the hands of non-professionals, you are having a lot of kidney challenges. Young children having kidney challenges now. Most people can't even get old again. Little things just happen and you see them rushing to India and other things. So please and please, as you go, step out into the world. All the knowledge you have acquired is for you to render services to humanity. And let that services be done appropriately to save humanity and to improve on their health. So you are different from the trader whose aim of coming to the pharmaceutical landscape is just money, money, money. And I believe you will conform to the ethics of the profession and ensure that we save the life of Nigerians. I wish to state that council fronts at professional misconduct in its entirety. So any form of misconduct by any pharmacist is usually investigated by the PCN investigating panel, and if the pharmacist have a case to answer, he or she is referred to the disciplinary tribunal which has the same status of the Federal High Court in Nigeria. Sentences such as removal of a pharmacist's name from the pharmaceutical register for a given period could be passed. And if there are criminal cases, that pharmacist will be handed over to the police. More so, you are expected to keep off from the register and go syndrome, which has tarnished the image of pharmacists and has brought the profession to ridicule. Always bear in mind that things take time, and do all in your power to uphold the ethics of the profession at all times. Register and go. Anywhere you register a premises, by law, whether it's a hospital or a community practice or a manufacturing outfit, by law, it is you that will be held responsible for anything that goes wrong. There's nothing like I went to the hospital, I went to the market, oh, I just went to ease myself because our toilet is not working. There's nothing like that before the law. If you are the superintendent pharmacist in that premises, everything that goes on there is upon you. I have to let you know this now. Nigerians are getting wiser every day. They are getting wiser concerning their rights and responsibilities. They are getting wiser in what they are expected to be given. So if a patient comes and buys drug where you are not there, and a wrong drug is given to the patient, and there's a negative outcome from there, there's nothing like I was not there. I have to send this as a warning. So some of your colleagues in time past who will go and register a premises and start going up and down, leaving the premises for non-professionals to handle, they are at a risk. And anytime a legal issue comes out there, counsel will be very hard on that pharmacist. Very, very hard. Because the society has already put have that understanding that government has accredited that facility, and that facility is being superintended by a registered pharmacist, and they're expecting good pharmaceutical services from that premises. So whatever comes out there, they believe government has sanctioned it. So if you leave your position for others to start working there for you without full grip of what is happening there, you are on your own. So please and please, the life of Nigerians is the life of a Nigerian is worth millions of whatever naira you want to acquire from that business. Because once the life goes, you cannot bring it back. If your 10 million goes, you can still work hard and get even more than that. But once the life is gone, there is no amount of work you will do that you bring that life back. So the government is not ready to entertain such negligence from anyone. I hope I'm communicating. It's not I'm putting fear in you, but I'm only telling you your responsibility that you have for the society as you step out today. Pharmacy is a noble profession, and as the keynote address speaker has said, it guarantees opportunities for new graduates to have great prospects of practicing in different fields, as enumerated by the guest speaker. I don't need to go into that. With this, you have huge options to select from. In doing this, do not undermine the activities of your colleagues. Pharmacy practice is collaborative. And wherever you find yourself, you must collaborate with other healthcare workers for the patients to get maximum benefit. You can excel in each of any areas of life you choose to. As I said earlier, you are the only one to limit where you get to in life. I wish to state categorically that pharmacists today remain legally responsible for the safe and accurate dispensing of medication, most especially ethical medicines, and additional responsibilities as an integral member of healthcare team to educate, monitor, and care for patients. If you have listened to me carefully, you'll find me mentioning patient. That is your focus in life. The patient is coming because he's ill. He brings his money to get services, and he must get the service that is appropriate, that must be accorded to him. Please, patient comes first, and that makes you different from the non-professionals who are in the pharmaceutical landscapes that bring money first. Therefore, fake drugs don't allow in anywhere you find yourself. Dear parents and guardians, well-wishers, while I congratulate you on this occasion of admitting your children and wards into the practice of pharmacy profession, your oversight responsibilities will still be much needed to guide these graduates through the second and lifelong phases of their pharmacy training as well as the school of life. Yes, you are graduating today. Yes, you are now adults, but I still believe that you still need guidance from your lecturers, your mentors, your parents most especially. Because you can never, no amount of money you have that will make you have more rags than your parents. What does that mean? It means that the experiences they have gathered over the years, you cannot buy it. You cannot buy it. So in order not to reinvent the wheel, you still need to fall back to your parents, to your lecturers, and to your mentors, who will give you direction in life. So don't go into the sea like a ship without a captain. Please, life is sweet and it's also bitter. So learn from the old rags of your parents so that you don't start wearing old rags that are older than you when you are still youthful. It is very important and you must listen. We in Pharmacy Council of Nigeria therefore solicit your support and cooperation in putting them through whenever the needs arise. As an advice to new graduates, do not fill your career with abandoned projects. Make purposeful changes in life to complement your experience. Be focused on your targets and wait patiently for your time. The guest speaker also has spoken about this. It is not only government that have abandoned projects. You have individuals that have abandoned projects. And because pharmacy as a profession has a lot of areas we can work in, some of us are not focused in life. So we start with community pharmacy. After some time, they will feel that the salary is not enough. Then they will rush to government hospitals where they believe that a job is secured. And by the time they get there, they still find out that things are not okay for them. It is them, some of them will remember that they had distinction in their university days. And now start doing masters and PhD. And by the time they come to say they want to be lecturers, their juniors are now professors and head of departments. And they start saying, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. If not because I did not start on time, how can you be talking like to me? You will blame yourself. Start blaming yourself now. So start focusing now. If you know you are an academic, you are excellent in your academics, better be focused. Go and do your master's, PhD, and start lecturing. Because life is about service. It's about service. No amount of money you will pursue in this world. No amount of cars, children, cars, houses. It's a question of time. You will die and leave those things. Life is not about money, money, money. The Yorubas will say, Ayela ba ayela fisiles. So why the fight and struggling in life? Identify a pathway. Stay on your lane and do the needful. It's a question of time. All the monies you think you have acquired, the houses, the cars, a day may come, you look at them, you can't even use them. A day will come, you look at them. A day will come, you die and leave them away, and leave them behind. So you start asking yourself, what exactly is the meaning of life? You are here on this earth for a purpose. Find out what that purpose is. And the purpose of your coming to this world is service. to make life meaningful to your neighbor, make life meaningful to humanity. And we all know, even the Coca-Cola we are drinking today was discovered by pharmacists. So as a professional, you have been trained, just as our royal father said, go out there. We have pharmacists who are senators. We have pharmacists who are governors. We have pharmacists who are working in banks. After going through pharmaceutics, making all the creams that never cracks, or your creams cracked. So discovering or seeing trichomes that were very difficult for us those days to see. By the time you come out, you're already wired to be anything. You can be anything as a pharmacist. That makes you different from any other profession because you can fit in anywhere. You did management. We know colleagues who are directors in banks. We know colleagues who are directors in MTN, Airtel. So there's nowhere in life that you cannot fit in. Find a service that you can render. Life is about service. It's about looking out for people, what people need, and provide it for them. And then they will pay you. And you manage your life on. So please don't join them, the bandwagon of rushing. You are not from Russia. Because this life, you can't sleep on more than one bed. You can't ride more than one car at a time. Even as sometimes you start dieting. You start dieting, you see the food you can't even eat. They will not tell you, don't eat this, don't eat that. Then you start asking yourself, why the so-called rush? So please, respect human life, respect your neighbors, get focused in life, move on, render the services from beginning to the end. Before you know, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, 100 years has come to pass. And when it's time for you to go, you go. But make a mark. Because if I ask you who was the richest man in Nigeria in 1960, none of you can say. But you can remember who was the prime minister. You can remember Newton. That is the essence of life. So as a professional, please be bold, go forth. Make life meaningful for yourself and humanity. And I believe at the end of the day, when you look back, you'll be satisfied. Not a life where somebody is holding at the gate, you start asking, who is that? Please go, because this university has a name to protect. And you must protect that name, protect the name of the pharmacy, protect the name of your family, and then protect yourself, because integrity cannot ever be bought. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I once again congratulate and rejoice with you. I wish you journey mercies to your various destinations. The semblance. Congratulations once again, and I wish to state that it is our living hope that you will have a memorable and mutually satisfying practice in lifetime. You are welcome into our world. You are welcome into the world of pharmacy. Thank you.
First, let me thank the registrar of the PCN for coming personally for this event. We are very grateful for your presence and the words of admonition, the professional counsel that has been given to the inductees are very handy and timeless. Without wasting time, it is my pleasure to invite the Dean for the presentation of the inductees for induction. Please put your hands together as I invite Dr. Igodaro.
Will the pharmacy graduates please rise? Ladies pastor, this current set of pharmacy graduates have been found worthy in learning and character. And this day, 18th January 2019, I present them to you for induction.
Thank you very much. Photographers, please, you will give us very few minutes because this is solemn time. It's a transition period, and we must understand what we are going to do. Some thoughts you are taking, which will guide your practice